95% of people will never build an aesthetic physique because they train the wrong way. If you want to build an elite physique, you need to optimize your training for hypertrophy. And most people have no clue on how they should go about it. They're making mistakes that they can't see. So in this video, I want to show you how you are going to build an aesthetic physique. So let's begin the video with proof that I know what I'm talking about. This is me when I started going to the gym. This is me right now, and this is me at my peak, at my leanest. Now, let me explain why 95% of people can't build an aesthetic physique. When you read this, you probably already come up with a reason to why most people can't build an aesthetic physique. The first reason is because they don't take the gym seriously. The second reason is because they have a weak diet. Now, these two reasons are valid. If you want to build an aesthetic physique, you have to follow these two. But if we're being honest, most people take the gym seriously and their diet is okay. You know, they get their protein, they eat pretty healthy, so they should be able to build an aesthetic physique, right? But when you look at them, it looks like they just started going to the gym when they have worked out for years. So what is the real problem? There are a few reasons to why most people can't build an aesthetic physique. The first reason is because they haven't optimized these three right here. They don't know how to train with intensity. They don't know how frequency and volume works. If you want to build an aesthetic physique, you need to optimize these three right here. It's a non-negotiable. So let's begin with intensity. Why is intensity so important? According to science, the main driver for hypertrophy, the main driver for your muscle to grow is mechanical tension. Now, what is mechanical tension? If we look at this graph right here, as you can see, the more force or activation we create, the more motor units we activate, the more motor units we recruit. In other words, the reason why we train with intensity is so we can put as much tension as possible on the muscle fibers. You recruit as many motor units as possible. That's why we train with intensity. That's why mechanical tension is so important. You see, there are too many guys that focus on the stretch or they train in a weird way. All you need to do is full range of motion, train with intensity, go to failure or close to failure in every single set, and you're good to go. This right here is the main driver for hypertrophy. You want to recruit as many motor units as possible, and you do that by training with intensity. So now let's talk about frequency. How should you go about it? First of all, if you're unsure what frequency means, all it means is how many times a week do you hit the same muscle group? And most people would say they hit the same muscle group once a week. Now, this right here is not that bad, but it could be better. Let me explain why. Because we train with intensity, after every single set we build up fatigue. Fatigue makes you weaker, and if you get weaker, you're not able to recruit as many motor units as possible. In other words, you're not able to stimulate the muscle as much. This means after every single set, you get less and less return on investment. So this is about how much return on investment you get after every single set. And if you do 6, 7, 8, 9 sets for one muscle group in one gym session, you get even less return on investment. You tell me, is it worth doing the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th set when you get this much return on investment? What I would recommend instead is, instead of hitting the same muscle group once a week, hit it 2 to 3 times a week. Now, when you say this, you might think, how am I supposed to recover? If I hit the same muscle group 3 times a week, I need to recover properly. And doing 8, 9 sets, it won't work. So my recommendation is lower the amount of sets you do in each session and only focus on the 2 first sets that gives you the most return on investment. So I will recommend for you to change your workout split to upper, lower, or full body so you can prioritize the first 2 sets. And if you're not convinced, I followed a bunch of different workout splits, and I will tell you this: upper, lower, for me, it's better than push-pull leg, it's better than bro split, it's better than Arnold split. I've had a better experience with the upper lower than every other workout splits. That's just my experience, but I'm telling you right now, it's worth a try. Now, by talking about frequency, we have also covered volume. Now, another reason to why most people aren't able to build an aesthetic physique is because of this. I want to show you a video. Look at this. Look at my technique. Look at my form. No momentum, full range of motion. Do you see how I'm controlling the weights? Do you see how my form is magnificent? This is how you're supposed to train. Let me show you another exercise. Now look at my form and technique on squats. This is 225 pounds. Full range of motion, no momentum. I'm controlling everything. This is how your squats are supposed to look. Look, I'm gonna show you another exercise. Look at this right here. Do you see how stable I am? Full range of motion, no cheating. This is how it's supposed to look like. Look at my facial expression. Look how hard I'm training. I can barely do another rep. I have to cheat in order to do another rep. That's how hard you're supposed to train. Let me show you my pullovers. Look at this right here. Full range of motion. My technique is so beautiful. Only my lats are engaging right here. Look at my facial expression. Look. I'm doing partials. Look, I'm doing partials. Let me show you. I'm doing partials. That's how hard you're supposed to train. The reason why I show you this is to give you an example of how you're supposed to execute an exercise. You saw it for yourself. My execution, my form, it was so beautiful. No ego lifting. All the tension was on the muscle I was trying to hit. That's how you're supposed to train. If you want to put as much tension as possible on the muscle fibers, you need to have clean execution on your exercises. So what you're supposed to do now is to search up online on every single exercise you do. How to do this exercise, how to do the lat pullover, how to do push-ups, how to do pull-ups, lat pull down, etc. Watch videos on every single exercise you execute. And then the next thing I want you to do is to record yourself and give yourself critical feedback. How can I improve my form? How can my technique change? How can I make this exercise even better? If you do that, trust me, you will reach the top 5%. This is how you optimize your training. Now, if you want to take this to the next level, if you want me to give you feedback on your training, on your diet, on your workout split, all of that, click the first link in the description and book a call so I can help you.